The Federation. To some it's a beacon of order, to others it's a bureaucratic war machine. But regardless of your politics, if you want a ship that feels like it was forged in a tank factory rather than a shipyard, you look to core dynamics. For years, the Federal Trio, the Dropship, the Assault Ship, and the Gunship have occupied a unique space in the medium pad meta. Today, we are putting the two most common entry points against each other. On one hand, we have the Federal Dropship, a misunderstood multi-role brick that started it all. On the other, the Federal Assault Ship, a vessel designed to do one thing: turn your enemy into scrap metal through superior agility and kinetic force. In this deep dive, we're going beyond the surface stats. We're looking at hidden handling characteristic, engineering potential, and which one actually earns its keep in the modern galaxy. Let's look at the paper stats. These two ships share the same DNA, but they've been mutated for very different purposes. The Dropship is your entry point, requiring the rank of midshipman and costing around 14 million credits. The Assault Ship demands more commitment, Chief Petty Officer rank, and a higher price tag of roughly 20 million. The Dropship is a heavyweight, coming in at hull mass of 580 tons. The FAS is stripped down athlete at 480 tons. That 100-ton difference is the secret sauce behind everything we're about to discuss. Stock, the Dropship is slow. 180 meters top speed. The FAS, however, is one of the fastest medium ships in the game, boosting up to 350 meters per second and beyond, even without heavy engineering. But look at the hard points. This is where people get confused. The Dropship has 1 large and 4 mediums. The FAS has 2 large and 2 mediums. Wait, the Assault Ship has fewer total guns? Technically yes, but it's the size and placement that matters. The FAS gives you 2 class 3 slots, giving you much better armor penetration against larger ships like Anacondas and Corvettes. And this is where the debate usually ends for most pilots. The Federal Dropship does not turn. It suggests a new direction, and the universe eventually complies. It is famous or infamous for its drift. If you boost in the Dropship, you are committed to that vector for the next 3 business days. However, veteran pilots love this. Why? Because the Dropship is a drive king. With flight assist off, you can point your nose at the target while sliding sideways at 200 meters per second. It's like a turreted fortress. Now look at the Assault Ship. The FAS is widely considered one of the best handling ships in the game. It has a pitch rate that rivals some small pad fighters. It doesn't slide, it bites. If you enjoy dogfighting, getting behind an enemy and staying there, the FAS is your soulmate. It is a battering ram with wings. If the FAS wins on a fight, the Dropship wins on the daily life test. The Dropship has a massive Class 6 internal slot and several Class 5s. This makes it a surprisingly viable budget miner or a high-capacity armored transport. It's called a Dropship for a reason. It was built to carry troops and cargo into hot zones. You can pack 164 tons of cargo in this thing and still have enough hull plating to survive a gang. The Assault Ship is much more cramped. It has 2 Class 5 slots and 2 Class 4s. You can't really multi-roll in FAS. If you try to make it a trader, you're wasting its potential. The FAS is built for hull tanking, because Federal shields are notoriously thin. We're talking wet paper bag territory. You fill every single internal slot with hull and module reinforcement. In both ships, your canopy is your weak point. It's huge and it will shatter. If you aren't running module reinforcements, you'll be finishing your fights looking through a crack in the glass. Let's take them into the field. In the Dropship, your strategy is sustain. Because you have a Class 6 power distributor, you can fire those medium multi-cannons and that large beam laser for a long time. You sit in the middle of the fight, soak up the damage, and dish it back out. It feels like playing a tank in an RPG. In the assault ship, your strategy is aggression. You use your speed to dictate the range. If your enemy tries to fly away, you boost him into them, and I mean literally into them. The FAS is king of ramming. With those heavy core dynamics alloys, a 500 meter per second boost ram from an FAS will strip the shields of almost anything. In PvP, the FAS is a legend. It's one of the few ships that can actually keep up with Federal Lance in a turn. The dropship, in PvP, it's a mammoth ship. It's fun, it's scary if it hits you, but the skilled pilot will just circle strafe you into oblivion. Both of these ships require engineering to shine. Without grade 5 dirty drag drives, the dropship is painfully to fly. But with them, it becomes a hilarious drifting brick of death. For the FAS, you want to focus on armor. Since your shields are going to go down, and they will, you need to engineer your hull for thermal resistance to balance out the natural kinetic strength of the armor. And a word of warning, the jump range. Both of these ships have what we call Federal jump range, which is a polite way of saying they can barely jump over a tall building. Expect 15 to 20 light years unless you're using a Guardian FSD booster. So, which ship should you buy? Buy the Federal Dropship if you want a unique challenge. Buy it if you love the drifting flight model. Or if you want a combat ship that can actually carry some cargo on the side. It's the Thinking Pilot's combat ship. But buy the Federal Assault ship if you want to be a predator. It is hands down one of the most fun ships to fly in the entire game. It's fast, it's mean, and its rewards aggressive. High skill piloting. It is the ultimate stepping stone to the Federal Corvette. Ultimately, the dropship is a tool, but the assault ship is a weapon. Which one is in your hangar? Let me know in the comments below if you're a member of the Drift Gang or if you prefer the ramming speed of the FAS. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Elite Dangerous ship breakdowns. Fly dangerously, Commanders 07.